things.
Yeah, what? Not even Brookside or Emmerdale.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the channel. We are proud to present Mr. Tony V, Mr. Christopher B, and me, myself, who has no B's or V's in it at all, whatever. Good morning, one and all, brethren assembled. We are here to celebrate the 2-2 draw and other matters arising. Please be down, sitting, or upstanding, depending on how you feel. How are we, boys and girls?
Yeah, all is good in the hood. How are you?
Aye. Your go, Tony.
I was just recovering from that eye.
Brought back the Ali G years, didn't it?
Yeah, it just.
That's our new improved swearing policy in full effect.
Yeah,
there for you.
it's not homosexual, it's Batty Boy. Another one for YouTube to get upset about.
Right, Tony, I'm going to ask you one more time, and then I'm going to remove you from the channel for being too offensive to deal with. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, young man. Very well.
Excellent. So, Chris is talking to his imaginary friend.
I've got to keep kicking off in the background. I was just having to put some order back in the household.
So, what did we think of the Meisterstück that was the two apiece down by the seaside? Seaside, would you like to be beside the sea? Tottenham.
It was an enjoyable game, however, massively evidenced three things. The first point is Vicario and his Teflon gloves. The second point, how important it is that we actually get a left-sided winger, because we all know Tell Things, we all know Brennan Johnson, and all the hype and rant and rave we've heard about Odebear wasn't witnessed at all. And then the third thing is that we have not got a striker worth anything. And if we think that Richarlison's going to get more than 20 goals for us this season, when to date he's played 75 Premiership games for Spurs and scored 19 goals, we're in for a massive disappointment.
I thought that Vicario was horrible. I can only presume, and I speak from experience without giving too much away. But I think he was experiencing that rare joy of having sex again after his child was born. It comes to a man in his time of life where he realizes that beyond the cooking, the cleaning, the scrubbing, and the general mopping up and howling with tears, you can actually be a man again. And I think that discombobulated his brain cell. He played out of his skin for approximately 2 games, and now he's gone back and reverted to type. I thought Vicario was horrible. I've maintained that for some time. It's so funny watching the fan base on X and other social media channels are available. Oh, I don't know. He said horrible things about him. He's got biscuits where his wrists should be. There should be bone in there. He's too noisy, and he hasn't got anything worth hearing. We don't have anybody on the left. Xavi Simons has to play centrally. That's not up for debate. Yeah. Absolutely not up for debate. And yeah, Odebear and Tell. If I hear one more person tell me about time, patience, or anything else, I will insert a large garden gnome, which Asda routinely sell for about £24, into one of their orifices in order to stop them from talking. I'm sick of being patronized by people who don't understand the game, telling me there's some magic dust there that I haven't seen or sensed. Not interested. I'm an expert, an absolute expert when it comes to football, and neither of those two are fit to clean out a toilet in a changing room. They're not good enough. One of them's a championship player, and the other one should be playing whatever the equivalent of the Bundesliga League One is. I understand you were watching every minute of the game, Tony, and wish to speak at length.
Insert bad YouTube comment here. For full disclosure to everybody, I was actually out being one of the people in the black in the middle on Saturday and Sunday. So indeed. Here's the insert YouTube word of your choice in the black.
So tell us about your game then. We must talk about something, and our viewers are very understanding. They have endless patience and are just waiting to know more about your life.
I did 2 youth games on Sunday, and they were quite enjoyable. So I always enjoy doing those. Saturday I was actually an assistant referee. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. What can I say, Chris? That's the fact that your mind that was where the first place your mind goes to says an awful lot about you.
And who won the Matt Hayes Cup?
Okay. Good night, viewers.
Two Matt Hayeses and 1 cup. There's a video you don't want to watch.
Doodah.
Well, Tony, let me just tell you, Vicario was no. I mean,
mate, honestly, what you said about Vicario, what was really amusing about that when that shot went in. When he's full of righteous indignation, he gets up and starts waving his arms and shouting and screaming at people. He was incredibly circumspect after that. And I would love it if someone like Romero had just gone around and started screaming at him, saying, "What a useless idiot you are."
I think he needs punching in the throat. Well, first of all, that would stop him from talking for a happy period of time. And second of all, it would be just an enormous sense of release. And
I think we actually have to give Kinski a run of games before we can write him off, because they obviously saw something to bring him in the first place, and Vicario does not fit that level of elite goalkeeper that some of the competitors have got. So before we decide whether we need to bring somebody in, you've got to give Kinski a run of games. He's got to be given Premiership minutes.
Did anybody see the clip? The Vicario clip? It was after I think it was after there wasn't the West Ham game. It might have been, in fact, it might have been after this game. And Bissouma, who I've no time for, was stood wearing his outfit, with his hair and all the rest of it, and generally looking a little bit kind of admonished, which is good. I hope some of that's sinking in. But Vicario was walking a straight line, and when he saw him, and Biss's hand went out, nervously, hesitantly, Vicario went like that and walked past him, absolutely blanked him.
No, I'll have to hunt that one out. I'm not seeing that.
I knew that would go down well. Yeah, but no, I mean, this is a guy who's supposed to be all, high fives. It just shows, and it reiterates to me, for those that say, oh, you didn't watch the huddle or whatever, or you refused to watch the huddle or blah, blah. I think all this faux teamery stuff isn't actually worth a bag of wanks. I think that these guys I think enforced merriment is the worst kind going.
I hate these huddles, the pre-match huddles, and everybody does it, even like in youth football, in adult football, what have you. It's if you haven't done all your talking and all the things that need to be said in the dressing room, what the hell are you saying in the dressing room? What the hell are you doing apart from playing incredibly loud music, which honestly, some of the stuff I hear when I'm refereeing, you think to yourself, how the hell can you lot concentrate on the game when you've got that bloody rabble stuff going on? It's ridiculous.
Tell me, Tony, in
the zone.
Say that again, sorry.
I said it's mentally getting yourself in the zone.
Yeah, the zone being fried like a fucking badly burnt egg. Tony, tell me, in the lower leagues, do they do all this then? Do they have all that bam, bam, blip, blip?
Oh yeah. They have their boom boxes going off at 7,000 decibels, and then they have their pre-match huddle before you kick off. And for God's sake, just play fucking football. Just get on with it.
The old Brixton briefcase.
Oh God, it's insidious almost in some respects how all this is leaked down into grassroots and what have you. It's just really horrible.
It doesn't surprise me, but simultaneously, I am shocked to hear that goes on.
Oh, it does, unfortunately, and it's really annoying. Okay, look. The music thing, I totally get. That's all about a sense of like getting yourself up for it and all that sort of stuff, to some degree. But then, as a coach, for me, if I was a coach, and I've qualified as a coach as well, I would be wanting to focus and concentrate on your instructions about what you're expected to do during the game, about the opposition, about what you're doing, all that sort of stuff. And have all your music and all that sort of stuff at the start, get yourself wound up. That's great. Right, now it's time. Now it's game time, lads. Get your game head on. Let's get cracking. But it just doesn't seem to happen these days. Perhaps I'm just very old fashioned.
No, I don't think you're old fashioned. I think you're normal, and I massively question, even to the likes of Premier League rock stars, the value of having this boom 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 thing. I mean, a bit of music to get you going, but the music I'm hearing, and it's not because I'm 100 before anybody pipes up, but it's just fucking white noise. I mean, I can understand when they drop the troops into Afghanistan and these guys are playing Megadeth, because they're trying to put them into a mindset where they're almost gamifying it, that they're wandering around in a shoot and destroy sort of shoot 'em up game.
Are you sure you're not suffering from tinnitus?
No, I can definitely still hear you.
Get careful, I've got 2 dogs in the room. We're about to be scarred permanently.
I think we've just told them. To go shag some squirrels.
Yeah, told them there's some squirrel arse on the go if they fancy some.
Oh dear. But it's just all ridiculous, isn't it? I don't understand this stuff. You're literally going into a game. You're out on the pitch. You are ready to go. Why do you need a huddle? Why?
Well, it is fake camaraderie. And as I say, with Bissouma, unless Bissouma did something unspeakable to the Italian, which would only give him a reprieve in my eyes. But I mean, why on earth would you completely diss somebody like that? And we all know everybody's got cameras everywhere. It's the worst place in the world. It's if you've got any secrets, don't whisper them in a football stadium.
Probably business used up all the nitrous oxide.
He likes a bit of that.
Allegedly.
So, Chris, where do you think? So I keep on hitting this fucking microphone. Let's do the old 2 soups. Ooh. Is that sound all right? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Damn. So, Chris, where did you think that Thomas Frank was tactically for that game? And take your time answering, because I need to nip and get a bottle of water out the kitchen.
So I thought that a doggy looks much better tone when he comes back in left back in place of Spencer's a good player, but I think in the final third, the creativity and the attacking mindset, I think a doggy just comes into his own in respect to that. The interesting thing is we keep on swapping and changing. It's nice to rotate the squad, but I'm also a big believer unless the bloke's unable to walk, Simmons should be starting every game. There were reports he had a slight knock, but we've paid all that money.
I don't buy that at all. I mean, he looked fine when he was on.
Yeah. And
we were desperately crying out for him.
And the other thing I couldn't work out is that Papa Matassar has been one of our standout performers this season. Yeah, again, he was on the bench. And Bergval's featured the last 3 successive games. So I'm not sure if he's still trying to come to terms with his central midfield 3. But I thought when you've got Polinia, who is that workhorse, who's that bloke who just breaks it up, I thought having the energy of Papa Matassar in that 3 alongside Bentancur, for me, worked a little bit better than Bergval, who was trying to adopt the offensive number 10 position. But I think all of these people are effectively let down, and it makes their jobs harder with no natural target man to find.
I just wanted to mention, I'm just double checking here to be absolutely certain, but and I haven't got it in for him. I mean, Polina had a very good game. Oh yeah, no, I'm wrong. I stand corrected, said the man in the corrective shoes. Yeah, he's 62 touches because he only had 40 in the previous game. So he's definitely putting a shift in. I think we might have to do something with Polina, like dye his hair orange or something, so he's more immediately recognisable.
So the centre backs didn't do too much wrong. That was very, very close to the first one, to Brighton being offside for that. So very close. But the team's got the hallmarks of something that's looking quite positive on the eye. And I'd just say we're 2 or 3 additions off. If we can get Savvy Simmons synced to the demands of the Premiership, if we can bring in a decent left-sided midfielder, and then we got Kudos, then all we need, the cherry on the cake, is that centre forward. So it's not like we can say we've got injuries galore, but when we get Decky back, Decky will give us another attacking outlet where he can be deployed through the middle on the right, or you could even throw him up front. So it's not looking too bleak.
One of the things that I would really like to see happen, and I don't mean talk about going to the bloody Middle East, I mean actually get a deal done, is getting shot of Richarlison. And then after a suitable period of time, if he still isn't scoring goals, because that's what it says on the box, we get shot of Solanke.
Well, is Renee?
I mean, at the moment, like you always come out with the numbers, but we've sold Harry Kane, and what have we got in his stead? Nothing.
In his renaissance lasted all of 2 games, didn't it? He banged in a couple against a Burnley side, and he banged in a couple against who else did we play initially? So he scored the 2 against Burnley, and then he scored against somebody else. But then he goes 6 games at league and national level without being able to hit the back of the net. So the problem is he's never been in his career an out-and-out centre forward.
He was also a disaster when he played for Brazil. He got substituted, and I saw various player ratings, and they were giving him 4s out of 10. I mean, this is the sort of shite that we get served up here. And unfortunately, if you read the player rating thoughts of Tottenham observers, and it goes back to this whole infantilization of things and people who don't know what they're looking at, you never see players like him given a 4. And that's all he's worth. It's all he's worth. He's a striker. I mean, they're literally giving him a point for every time he touches the ball successfully. It's embarrassing.
Well, just to juxtapose that with Harry Kane, who's got, people have said, the Bundesliga is a farm league, blah, 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 blah. But he's absolutely set the bloody league on fire. He has destroyed everybody's assertion about, about the league, about his records. He's done everything. Model professional, bangs goals in wherever he goes, whatever team he plays in, he bangs in the goals. That's a proper striker for me. And if they suddenly just said, look, we'll buy out your Bayern Munich contract, we'll have you back in January, do it instantly if you can, because he's just going to bang in goals again. I've seen
some very strange remarks, I have to say, online from Spurs fans about Kane, and saying, oh, no, don't go back, blah, blah, all this sort of thing. I take him back in an absolute heartbeat. I mean, 100%. It isn't as simple as, because these things never are, but it's not as simple as, well, we've got Solanke and we've got Richarlison now. Everything is, this is a football. It's a movable feast. You can lose your job tomorrow. And I just feel that, I mean, there are other strikers out there, obviously, but I'd get rid of them and bring him back as soon as I possibly could.
You looked at our options on the bench on Saturday in the event we'd lost Richarlison. You had a young protege called Dane Scarlett, and you had a Mathis Tell. So you've got zero quality and depth in squad.
Well, you see the real problem. Go on, sorry.
How long can you be a protege for? That's the key. You know, if you're not cutting it by now, you're not really longed for it, are you? Let's face it. You look at the likes of Arsenal, you've got that Nwaneri and Max Dowman, what have you. They're playing. They're actively playing. And Max Dowman's 15 years old. I mean,
the truth of the matter is that we couldn't even engineer a loan from Scarlett out the club during the whole of the summer. He was on that list of no future here. Nobody wanted him, and he's 21 years of age. Has had uneventful loans at was it Oxford, Ipswich, and Portsmouth, and he's not set the world alight at any of them. And his only goal for Tottenham was in the Europa League, where we won 3-0. And
was that no? We also played. No. Sorry, I'm thinking about Alfie Devine. Sorry.
Mikey Moore scored, and so did the Ajayi.
Ajayi.
From that, we have got very accustomed over the years to hyping our youngsters as being the next best thing, and how many of them ever come to
Windy
fruition?
boy. Windy.
Windy boys.
Fuck it. I mean, there's a guy who's failed to make a living, which I think tells its own tale. Now, again, another one of these little reptiles hiding behind his paywall, being politically correct and finding his inner black person and his inner lesbian. But I mean, these people banging on about these players. Oh, they're going to be great. Yeah, he's the next thing since Slush. Doesn't happen.
Yeah, I read a blog on one on Saturday morning. Some Luca Williams Barnett, some fella, the boy Hotspur, had put considerable effort and time to bigging him up. Well done.
Thank you very much. But I think he actually looks like he knows where the goal is, for Christ's sakes. And all these other kids, I mean, this is the problem that Scarlett doesn't appear to know where the goal is, and he's running out of time. This is like having a conversation about parenthood with a woman in her 40s. I mean, it's pretty fucking academic. I mean, can you do it? Can you not do it?
We could also revert to that Argentinian world beater. What was his name? Alejandro Valise, was it? Another inspired signing.
I despair. I mean, I really do despair. I'm hopeful. I mean, I know they're business people, so we're not exactly going to get a complete leopard and spot changing exercise from the Lewis family. But I do hope that there's a bit more fucking sincerity about things under this lot. I do feel with Levy that there was a huge element of it, all this wretched amortization. I mean, I've got to be honest with you. I did English. Right, at school, I got straight results back in literature, language, and even spoken language. Okay, believe it or don't, I shouldn't even know what the word amortization is. That's like should be some gynecological conjugal term that I shouldn't know. It should be some foreign territory. But because I'm a Tottenham fan, I know that, you can amortize players, which is a way of hoovering up your mistakes. Let's strip it back, buy people that can score goals, pass accurately, and generally contribute usefully to the overall team effort. And if they're children, let them go back to school. Let them retrain to be labourers or rocket scientists or something. But this endless parade of guys that aren't going anywhere, I'm fatigued.
You look like a man who has the key assets to be a gynecologist, a small wrist and a waterproof watch.
Well, I don't know much about it, but I can help them out now and again. You know what I mean? Lovely. Yeah.
You'll have the fiddle.
Well, this thing with I know there was some talk around Frank sort of like moving things around and playing some different players and what have you. But to me, that is indicative of Frank saying, I really don't have a squad that I can rely on. So I'm having to just adjust things as and when necessary because I don't have a first 11 that I can honestly call a first 11.
Sorry, go on.
We lose our impetus when we get into the final third. The front three, it's not really working at the moment. You've got Kudos, who is a good player and brings it every game. But on the left side, we're found in wanting, and through the middle, we've really got Scooby. So if he's backed, like ever since that Savinio deal was attempted, I've watched him come on a couple of times, and I've not actually been that impressed. Like he can.
That was a bullet we dodged well and truly there, Chris. Yeah. I think especially for the money they wanted for him as well. It was just like that was never something I wanted.
2 or 3 games. Last 2 or 3 games, I've taken an interest. In the last 2 or 3 games, they've brought him on, and he's not done anything that's got me out my seat. Or I've thought, wow, this is a must.
Hang on, are we talking about Savino here?
Savino, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have to just a point of order for the court. This is a guy whose player value, his valuation, his transfer fee was based upon another club that Manchester City own.
Yeah.
Which is like me selling you a chair for £1,000 and then you turning around to Tony and saying, well, I paid £1,000 for it. Yeah, but you bought it off that prig. It's not worth £1,000. It's an old farmhouse kitchen.
Sorry, nasty old cough coming in. Financial fair play.
Yeah. Horace. But no, I think it's an absolute fiddle. They paid 20 million for somebody who, I'm not saying, he just happened to be sat on the right bus when the bus came into the stop. But I mean, there's nothing that I've seen that is hugely exciting about the guy. And he's been played rather lightly, I feel, and I just think the whole thing stank of being inflated. I mean, it would have been, and I've been banging this drum occasionally on and off for the years, but it would have been another Stephen Pienaar. I mean, what happened to him after we bought him? Nothing. What happened to him after he left us? Nothing.
I think he became an alcoholic and went back to South Africa.
Yeah. I've got to be very careful. I thought it was something dreadful that I cannot possibly do on this family channel there. But no, it's
feedback from YouTube.
But no, it's but it's one of those things whereby, you know, where's the actual inherent value? Show me the goals, show me the money. I mean, I'm just sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of it.
Well, like Chris had just said, I hope that I think you said as well, Swage. We just hope the Lewis family, if they are truly, seriously, genuinely interested in us actually achieving something, actually allow us to buy players that are actually worth the money we actually pay for them in the right positions, and allow Frank to do his job. So far, they seem to be, in terms of allowing Frank to do his job and what have you. I think we can all be. You know, the report card early on, you know, after a month is very positive. I'd say he probably gets a B plus probably in terms of his report card so far.
And if we're being honest, 6 games into the Premiership season, would you envisage us sitting in third?
No. Absolutely not. Oh, and just I understand another channel which I'm not allowed to mention because it gives people kittens, and I'm not a cat man myself. Is having or has had a Nottingham Forest fan on as a guest.
Oh, good God.
That's like interviewing somebody immediately after they've lost a baby. I mean, you know, it's extraordinary. but no, I think Frank is doing as well as he can do, given the tools at his disposal. This conversation we've had once or twice before. But I did feel against Brighton with the team selection that he made, and it's not because of any personal thing. I'm talking about, are they any good at playing football? It's not a complicated question. If you don't know what you're looking at, then don't join in the debate against me. But he looked to me like he didn't believe his eyes. He was hoping for more than he saw on the training pitches, because he's fielding players who are effectively substandard. And I'm still trying to get my head around the thing of Chabby Simmons not starting. But the idea that there's any faith placed in Odebear at this stage by anybody, it's wonderful to have a heart so big and giving. I mean, fantastic. You know, I hope you pay your rent, your light, your food, and all the rest of it, and you give the rest away to charity if that's the way you feel. Good luck to you. I'm certainly not bloody doing it.
The downfall in Simmons to Odebear was like going into a Ferrari dealership with a Ford budget, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's like going into the Ferrari dealership and coming out with a baseball cap, and your wife saying to you, "I thought you were going to get a car." And he goes, "Well, I was."
Congratulations, you just encapsulated Daniel Levy's transfer philosophy in one sentence.
Well, this is what we need to shake off, and I'm at pains to use words like integrity and sincerity when it comes to football, because you're kind of whistling in the dark. But it would be great for us to do something, and it's not all about money. Spurs have spent fortunes over the years under Levy, but we've spent foolishly, and we've spent money. We've thrown bad money after good.
But it's smoke and mirrors though, H, because we have spent a lot of money, but we have one of the lowest wage bills. We have the lowest wage bill in the top 6. So it's basically clever accounting that's going on here. It looks like we've actually done a lot of, had a lot of transfer business and a lot of it. Absolutely. But it's just clever accounting, because if you can pay 70 million for 65 million, I think it was, for Solanke, but you got him on like 100 grand a week, which sounds like it's a lot of money. We know it's a lot of money, but in terms of football, that's not a lot of money. And when you're playing, when you've got somebody like, let's face it, someone like Kane were to come back, you'd be paying him 200 grand top, straight away without even batting an eyelid, because he's worth that money. But it's all smoke and mirrors. It's clever accounting. Yeah, this thing about, we've spent 450 million, blah, blah, blah. But look at the wage bill. That tells you the quality of the players that we've bought, that they're happy to take that they're happy on a wage which is lower than a lot of wages wages bills are in top Premier League clubs.
I actually think it's under Levy. It has been a cynical move, and again, this is something I'd like the Lewis family to look at. Is we're not stupid. Now, I keep on telling everybody every week that a lot of football fans are as thick as mints, but this bread and circuses routine has to stop. Oh, let's get a player in on loan, hooray! And then we sign him on next year's budget, hooray! He can't play football. That's the reality. I mean, the business with Tell was absolutely criminal. It was a discount. He was like getting a voucher when we bought Kane for 50p off your next bloody burger. I'm sorry, but I'm not retarded. I'm not backward. That sort of stuff doesn't get me excited. I'd much rather we had a smaller squad with fewer overheads and ploughed that money into buying players that actually work, that actually do the job. And we just don't do it. We don't do it. We have this pantomime that, as I say, this bread and circuses routine where the crowd are urged to cheer at every bloody thing that's done. And it is just disingenuous. It's totally disingenuous.
On the positive front, though, when you look at...
Shut up.
I know. It's the wrong channel for this sort of positivity, isn't it?
31 minutes in, we haven't mentioned a single serial killer.
Oh, well, you stole my thunder, Christopher. You stole my thunder, sir.
I was actually looking at some ball hammers yesterday, and it did cross my mind, but I couldn't say anything because I was in a public place and there were children around.
On a positive front, we actually went to Brighton and came away with a point. Which has been something we've been woefully inept at doing over the last few years. They've been our bogey team. I was very, very, I was mentally prepared for us to get beaten again because it's just the sort of thing we do at Brighton. But for us to come back from 2-0 and also do it in style and also go for the, looking like we were really going for the win. We weren't just sort of settling for 2. We wanted, for 1 point, we wanted all 3. I think that says a lot about the mentality that Frank brings to the team and about the belief and about going out and being bold and brave and trying to win a game, which we just didn't have previously under the grass whisperer. That's probably the best way I'm going to describe him.
Who apparently is a very likable chap.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, and you ripping it all up at Nottingham Forest, isn't he?
If you read his publicity materials, they say
the young child who went over to thank him for bringing home the Europa Cup at the weekend.
No, what was
he did
that?
Ange took his son to a football game, and one of the other youngsters there was a Spurs fan, and he came over and cuddled him, and Ange took a photo and put it out, and the self PR machine was in full flight.
Bless him.
I'm a likable guy. I can't understand the hard press I get, and it's been like that since day one. Yes, Scotland's not great football wise, but I've been treated unfairly, and it's all disproportionate.
Oh bloody hell! H, just take me off the channel now, mate, because I'm about to blow you. I'm just about to blow your YouTube budget.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean the reality is that this gimp, this bloated fraudster, for the idea in the 21st century where we are as a nation, as a planet, where he's having to throw himself at the wokerati for a beg up of some support. The reality is he's a car crash. I mean, the amount of photos that were online of his high line at Forest. I mean, the only thing I can say, the nicest thing I can say about him is he's unrepentant. He's not learned a single sausage of what it is to manage a football team. Utterly clueless.
I've mentioned
my
friend's a season ticket holder at Swansea, and I was away last week on business trip. And
yes, I heard about that. Were you abroad, Chris?
I was, yeah.
Anywhere nice?
Norway, Oslo. Very nice, very expensive, but the Norwegian people are very nice people.
What was that Rioja like? Was it to your shooting?
Yeah, it was all good.
It was Rioja. In traditional Scandinavian fashion, the Rioja was a do-it-yourself kit.
More bread, table free.
But going back
Walker.
to it, my mate was there for that Swansea game when Forest went 2-0 up, and he said all they wanted to do was like the last crusade. All the Zulus were throwing sharp spears, and he said once they got one, they fancied themselves for two. And he said even in the 97th minute, when anybody would be thinking, let's try and see this out and take it to penalties, and still had a high line where they were leaving themselves so woefully exposed. They were laughing about it, the Swansea fans, and they were saying, never seen anything like that from a Premiership team visiting their stadium.
Well, he's not a Premiership. He's not a Premier League manager. He's Fat Sid from Crazy Joe's Wagga Wagga Beach Bar. That's what you're dealing with.
Where are they now? 16th in the league or something?
Well, that's a natural position for Ange, isn't it? Surely that's about 16th, 17th is his natural position, isn't it?
Natural position is the fetal position.
that was us last year. But bless the little kid. He was grateful, but it's a bit like when a starving man is suddenly handed a biscuit, he thanks everybody that was involved in baking the biscuit, doesn't he? Basically, and that's what it was really down to. Bless the little kid, great, good for him, and I don't want to decry his efforts and say that whatever, but for Ange to milk it and to have such publicity and then try to remake himself off the back of that is just despicable, honestly.
Well, it is despicable because he's, like I say, he's throwing himself at people who will automatically, like I say, they pay their rent, they pay their rates, they pay their food bill, blah blah, and their HP, and then they give the rest to charity. He's throwing themselves at those people, or those people that at least would tell you they behave like that the day after they get paid. And the
intelligent people like people on this channel, they know a country squire when they see a country squire.
You can't put a bit of butter on your knife. Now, gentlemen, I understand on Wednesday the 24th, we are at home to Doncaster Rovers.
Donny of the Rovers.
I'm a Donny man myself. Any thoughts on that? No, right. Well, that's it. Good luck, everybody. It's been great seeing you, and tuning in again next week.
That is the game you'd expect to see your Oda Bear start. That's the game you'd expect your Tell to start. The game where your Kinski should be getting 90 minutes. Danso at the back. So no disrespect to Doncaster, but we should be seeing them off comfortably. And if he's going, I'd expect to see Archie Gray in the middle as well. So I think that is the game where we should be rotating the squad and giving some of the youngsters some minutes. Your man, Luca Bartlett-Williams, they could be radical and they could throw him into the mix because he's scoring at under 18s, under 21s, but they won't. But that is the game where we should be seeing what's out there and what they can do.
Well, you look at the run of fixtures we've got Doncaster, then obviously we've got Wolves, haven't we, on Saturday evening. Then it's Bodo Glimt.
Dr. Spurs away.
Bodo Glimt, they're back, kids. Yeah, I told you.
The Glimt mask is back. And then we got Leeds away, and then we got Aston Villa at home. I mean, not being funny, but that's a run. That's 5 games we should be winning, all 5.
Yeah, and I'm going to say it again. I put it in a Substack, and I put it on the other.com as well. The inherent good that comes of a football side winning cannot be underestimated. Those Nottingham Forest fans, and there are other fans out there, who've been trooping off with their heads down, that builds up. It's like your wife being short with you for no good reason. It builds up and it chips away at the good, and it can inevitably get out of control. You need to rein in negativity because it doesn't do you any favors in the long term. And that's not some great deep message, but winning is so important. The fact that we didn't lose, the fact that we fought to get the point was still a positive of sorts. Yep. I think we should have beaten them. I think the team structure was wrong. But that's
Kudus' last-minute shot could have gone anywhere, couldn't it? It went just over the crossbar, but that could have easily diverted into the back of the net.
Yeah, I mean, Wolves I don't get me wrong. I don't think they're rubbish, but I think we need to start ruling with a rod of iron in these games. And Leeds away, Wolves at home. Let's just get it done. And Doncaster, I would be absolutely delighted to see some kids come in and play, because
I follow a Wolves fan on Twitter, and
does he know?
Pardon?
Does he know?
Well, the poor guy's suffering from cancer at the moment, and he tweeted on Saturday, honestly, I enjoy my chemotherapy sessions more than currently watching this Wolves side play.
Fucking hell.
What we've got to do is somebody like Wolves, and previous comment, and that person, I hope he makes a, brilliant, I hope he makes a full recovery, and wish him well. But
why would you wish a stranger well? I never understand that.
Because I'm a basic compassionate human being, and you're just a country squire age. That's the reason why.
I mean, it could be a child molesting psychopath.
He could be, but I don't know that right now, do I?
Why are you throwing out goodwill to people who might be absolutely wrong?
My basic assumption of people that I don't know isn't that they're child molesting psychopaths, which I can understand why
maybe that's why. What's held you back in life? Maybe a lot of stuff your wife has been WhatsApping me is true. I don't know.
Well, that might be the case, but I like to think I'm basically an optimistic person by nature.
I think she used optimistic.
I just like to see the good in people. They're just
not that old, Fanny, please.
Yeah, that's right. I like to see the good in people as opposed to you, Mister. Everyone's a serial killer. That sort of thing.
You haven't got 10 grand you could lend me till next week, have you?
I have actually got 10 grand, but seeing as you like serial killers so much and believe everybody else is a serial killer, I'm going to deny you your request.
Oh, Tony. You're so mean. I knew beneath the surface there was a sane person there.
Oh no, absolutely not, mate. You don't want to go below my surface, mate. It gets very murky very quickly.
Very dark, very quick. Yeah.
Absolutely. But with Wolves, we should absolutely be sticking our foot on the throat and squeezing down extremely loudly. And Chris is now playing with fire.
Do you squeeze with the feet? What are you? Some sort of marsupial?
Yep.
Did you watch any of
anymore? Yep.
Put your foot on the throat and squeeze very waffly.
Waffling. Did you watch any of the football yesterday?
No.
Yeah, I saw the last 15 minutes of the Sunderland game, and I watched the Arsenal game.
I've got to say, it's not going right for Villa this season, is it? We were being linked with that Morgan Rogers for 80 million. He was terrible yesterday, and then you got Watkins, who touched the ball about 6 times yesterday.
Well, you know what I'm going to say. Everybody likes good news, and so the people churning out these articles pander to morons like Tony there that think well of everybody. Oh yeah, this guy hasn't actually tripped over his own feet and broken. Go on, Tony. Better out than in tone. Go on, Tony. But no, I mean the fact that the guy hasn't tripped over his own feet and broken his spine. Oh yeah, he's going to be the next Lionel Messi. I mean, who's the other lad we were linked with? And he was appalling. That was the end of the beginning. No, it was the beginning part of the transfer window. And people were going, what the fuck? I can't even remember what club he was at. This is a great anecdote, isn't it? But no, just a shock.
Apart from those specifics. the journalistic
I know I've said too much. I should try and be less
try and actually, make a point.
Yeah. So who is this player? I'm intrigued now, H.
Yeah. It's mysterious.
You must know the tall, short chap. He had curly, straight hair.
Yeah. Thingy. Thingy from that team. Team.
What's his name? You know the fella.
That's what I like about you, H. You're all specifics. Specific about the fact everybody's a serial killer, but can't remember the name of a fucking football player.
I see. He does. He just makes it up.
I see untapped potential in ordinary people.
Untapped potential.
Call them everyday anti-heroes. I mean,
the couple of Fred and Rose.
To look at, they were the couple next door. I don't know what more evidence you need. I mean, to look at Chris, you would think he was normal and sane and balanced, but we know that not to be the case.
What did you say? What do you think he was, Norman?
Stanley Fletcher.
Stand still, Fletcher.
Oh, so there was a point there somewhere, Ace, wasn't there, about this player, this ethereal player, this almost. Well, is he God? You know, is he sort of like one of these sort of players? Is he?
Okay, you've made me do it. I'm going to put
some positive news with Spurs. Perhaps. I landed a couple of tickets. Some positive news over the weekend. I landed a couple of tickets for Garth Brooks's first concert in the UK for 27 years next summer. So Garth, you know what that means?
Is he singing now?
The Stetson comes out, the boots come out. It's going to be a party.
I've never seen a black man dressed as a cowboy since.
I was going to say, yeah, I know. I didn't.
Well, Garth
Brooks, not Crooks and Bellends.
Oh, so it's a long way from being a pundit on the BBC to go selling out Wembley Stadium or wherever, is it?
Wait, but I wouldn't hold that against him. I mean, you know, Boss Hogg had a bit of timber, you know. Although I think it's very good though in this modern age, you can say casually in conversation that you're a Garth Brooks fan, because it's a bit like telling people you're into Kids. You know, back in the 70s, it didn't go down that well generally.
Well, at least not that you need an excuse, Chris. At least you now got an excuse to wear your boots and your arseless chaps, haven't you? So you're well in.
Yeah, I'll send you photos. Might move on to the Malbec. Be sophisticated that night.
Yeah, just a good old country music, boy.
Got two kinds of music here, boy. Country and Western. Chris, tell me, and I ask you with all sincerity and out of complete innocence, do you have a cap gun?
No. Perhaps you could buy me one for Christmas.
When you said, I'm just trying to find out. I'm just trying to find out. Actually, he said on a positive note. He started and said on a positive note.
Yeah, I mean, just run that past us again in slow motion. What are the upside? What's the upside of having a ticket to this fucking abomination?
You're only jealous.
Oh, baby, my heart, achy, breaky heart.
That was Billy Ray Cyrus, Million Miles Away.
Yeah, a million miles away. Yeah, absolutely nothing like Garth Brooks or Crooks, whatever his name is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present an in-swinging corner from the outside of the edge of the penalty area. Good evening.
I suppose you've still got your cherished copy of Diamond Lights, haven't you?
I'd never owned that at all, actually.
No? I thought being the type of guy to have your ear pierced and wear a leather jacket back in the day whilst getting out your XR3i. I do actually have a couple of pals I went to school with who for some reason, and I don't understand, it must be like a sort of Tourette's thing, I occasionally have to mention that they used to have their hair permed at the back.
Oh,
so
God.
Would be completely dry on top. And then they caked it in some sort of gel thing at the rear, which was particularly fetching. What's your favourite haircut you've ever had, Tony? Can you remember?
Yeah, when did you
just having hair. I had more hair when I came out of the womb than I've got now.
No comment. So, Chris, will you be line dancing at this gig? Is that the way it works?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the next 15 minutes, it's Let's Take the Piss Out of Chris.
And his backless, arseless chaps.
Yeah.
If you've got the arse for it, just wear it.
the Matt Hayes of the fashion world.
I wouldn't go that far. So how does that segue into our next Tottenham input?
I'm desperately trying to think of a tenuous link. Right, anything else to talk about anymore?
I think Thomas Frank sounds very, very good in his post-match interviews. He sounds incredibly knowledgeable. He actually knows what he's talking about. He breaks the game down, and what he sees is what you saw. I think is you're not he's not living in denial about things. Unlike some people who think going to a Garth Brooks concert is actually good news, but there you go.
No, I tell you what I like about it, and there's no point comparing him with Ange, because one of them's a football manager and the other one is Ange Postecoglou. But the deal with the guy is that he speaks very lucidly, and again puts the UK to shame in the fact that we tend not to produce people who can speak well in other languages. And I'm not just talking about that England manager who developed a Dutch accent when he'd been over there for a fortnight. But no, he speaks very clearly. And I also get the sense that the press room it's come as a bit of a shock to them that they're not dealing with a complete moron. So, I mean, so far we've not had any of these. So have you listened to any good audio books recently? And what's your favorite flavor ice cream? Which was the way it was going under the last guy. But no, I find him absolutely refreshing. Very much so. Very much so.
Well, the reason why the press, you've noticed the questions by the press are now so much more different than they were, because the Ange they knew was a target, and he would absolutely, they could go fishing with him and he'd bite on absolutely everything, whereas
see, the trouble is Ange and this will make some people in the audience smirk, did like the sound of his own voice, and he was very, very comfortable just spouting bullshit, like unfounded witterings. So and I refer the honourable jury back to the business of I said to Pushkas and Pushkas said to me. Absolute twaddle that had nothing to do with the reality of the abortion clinic of his tactics. He was very comfortable, very relaxed. And I used to refer it to this sort of sitting at the campfire, and that's what he was in his most coziest element doing, was having this campfire chat. You see, when you're doing really well and there's no pressure on you, you can spout twaddle for, as we do, for an hour, unassisted for a week. But when things are tough, you by rights shouldn't have much to say apart from sorry, and I have got a bag packed. But with Frank, I get the idea that he's prepared to talk through absolutely everything, and to do so in an adult manner. It's probably as well that Levy isn't around, because he didn't understand football either. So when he was having these idiots go, we done good, nearly come lucky, and all the rest of it, it would be wasted on him to have somebody who was pretty much a footballing intellectual, which is what I think Thomas Frank is. And
I think Thomas Frank, if the stars, we've said this before, but the stars have aligned for him. I think he has. Yeah. If everything pans out as we hope it will, with the support and the backing of the Lewis family, etc., and the so-called desire of the club. And I say it's so-called at the moment because it's still early days yet. We've got no evidence there's nothing to actually back up yet what they've claimed will happen. The next transfer window, I think, will be proof of that. Probably next June, July, that sort of airtime. The transfer window next summer will probably be the acid test, because January transfer windows do tend to be a little bit iffy.
I think so. What do we think of this business of the 90 million, the 100 million war chest that Matt Law told us about?
I don't think it's nonsense for any minute. I think had we been able to got the targets we wanted over the line during the transfer window just gone, we would have done. And I think we're seeing the same things we've already commented on today, that we need that centre forward, we need that left-sided midfielder. And the deeper we go into the competitions, if we're still, we will still be in the Champions League by January, won't we?
Yes.
The group stages. And if you're still hovering around third or fourth in the league and you're still in the FA Cup or the Coca-Cola Cup, you've got to speculate to accumulate. So if you throw 80, 90 million the way of somebody who could get you 20 goals, 15 goals between January and May you're going to. So I think that, and all of the due diligence and the scouting should be ongoing now. You should know as soon as the January transfer window opens in 9 weeks, this is who we want to get through the door, and we want to move fairly quickly.
What do we think of Adam Wharton? Is that a name that appeals to anybody in the winter?
He has done in the past, but he's going to cost you, I'd say, around 90, 100 million.
Well, that's supposedly what we've got. I mean, the way I've read it, if they want to show that they're serious, then they'll just go out and buy a missing piece. And I'm just curious if he is the missing piece.
I don't think he is the missing piece. I think the missing piece is we've never replaced Harry Kane, have we?
No. I mean that's the big headline question. But then we had that question while Harry Kane was with us. We went through dozens of attackers, arguably, who were supposed to be part of the transition of power, whatever you want to call it, and they never worked. But no, I mean, I'm just wondering who, because I have a sneaking suspicion. I mean, if they can get 2 guys for 50 million, that's fine. But I have a sneaking suspicion that they're just going to go and clump and try and land the right guy for the whole amount. I don't know. But I mean, we've got vacancies. And if there is a genuine determination under Vinay and the Lewises, all well and good. But it's certainly something I'd like to see.
Well, remember we've got so obviously you've got Decky to come back as well. So you could argue whilst he played his best football when he was in the middle, underhand. Yeah. I think under Thomas Frank he could go out wide on the left, naturally left-footed. So why not stick him out on the left? He's proven that he can do that. He's proven he can do that on the right. Perhaps just get him in there, so you've got that could eventually solve the problem, potentially solve a problem. But I also agree. I would rather go and spend, not my money, I appreciate, but if I had the choice of spending 50 million on 2 players who could be okay, would be okay, or 100 million on a game changer, I'd do 100 million on a game changer.
100%. Yeah.
We still need to get. There's nobody specifically. That's what you're telling me. I mean, this isn't a. Do
you know? I tell you what, I've always fancied up top, and I think that Mateta at Crystal Palace does a fairly decent job. He always weighs.
I think you're going to say Linda Lusardi.
Well, back in the day, she adorned my bedroom wall with Sam Fox and Cindy Crawford, but they're just. Mother age has not been kind to any of them,
including you.
Well, I'm still eye candy, aren't I?
You still got that lucky sock, I understand.
Yeah, it's like cardboard. I don't know what centre forwards are there out there that you could go out.
That's the problem. There aren't. If you think about it, there aren't any centre forwards that are out there. We would have to basically do something where we make an offer to a club that's got one already in situ that they can't refuse.
So are you keeping up, H? Good.
No, well, I'll have to be honest with you. I mean, this has been a chore.
He just wants to go outside and meet all the other serial killers there are in the world.
You mean he wants to stand outside of the fire?
Stand outside the what?
Standing outside of the fire.
What on earth are you on about?
The humour's lost on you.
It's a Garth Crooks reference, isn't it?
There you go.
Oh, for God's sakes. Mate, we thought he was a black attacker initially. You're wasting your time drilling down into his back catalogue.
Oh dear, that landed flatter than a pancake, mate.
Yeah. I was trying to think of something sinister about my own personal life you were throwing into the mix there.
I've seen roadkill. I've seen roadkill flattened by a 60-ton articulated lorries get not as flat as that.
Right, are we done?
I don't know who knows where we can buy. 100 million can buy. I think we're gonna have to chase. We're gonna have to chase somebody who's already in situ and make an offer we can't refuse. I don't think there'll be anybody that's worth 100 million that we can just go and buy.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I think there are options beyond the lone striker, and I've got to say that my suggestion of getting rid of Solanke and Richarlison is highly ambitious. I think Richarlison's contract is close to up. Has it got a year to go or something like that? Maybe 2.
And we need to get rid of Brennan Johnson, as he's just rubbish.
Yeah, but he keeps on scoring goals occasionally. Sometimes
he's not actually getting any starts at the moment, is he?
No. Well, I think the reality is that is one of those things where Frank has seen what he's got in training and hasn't been impressed by it.
It's incredible. These people are saying, "Oh, don't forget, Frank tried to sign Archie Gray before Tottenham did the deal, and he wanted Brennan Johnson before again Spurs signed him from Forest." Yeah, in the time he's been there, neither of them have featured on a regular basis.
But the Brentford team were different to it. Yeah.
I don't think there's any evidence to support either of those assertions. And I think it's just lazy journalism.
Well, the thing is that regardless of that, Brentford are a different team, so they have different personnel. So if that was the case, he would be putting players in to fit in a particular piece of the jigsaw that he was working on. So to me, that's irrelevant because they were a different squad, and the fact that we went out and nicked them under his nose, I think if assume that's the case, we nicked them without any real purpose because Archie Gray, where does he fit into all of it? I think he had a decent season up to a point last season that he just got knackered because he was just being played in and suffered probably from PTSD. So suffered from PTSD from all the batterings that they were taking, and Brennan Johnson. Well, we know Brennan Johnson. Yeah, great tap-in merchant. And do you know what? I don't mind a tap-in merchant. But that wasn't his job. That wasn't his job.
Precisely. I mean, if anything, I would prefer to see Johnson played as a striker because nobody minds about tap-in merchants. I can think of 2 off the top of my head: Van Nistelrooy and Rush.
What about Gary Lineker?
Gary Lineker. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, he's a little bit busy supporting Hamas at the moment, and in the other terrorist organisation, he can.
Delighted that we've recognised Palestine as a state. I'm guessing.
Yeah, unbelievable. Which is great, of course, because suddenly this country will be full of just landed Palestinians who are fleeing because of the oppressive Jewish genocide.
Well, maybe
that's another conversation, isn't it? Dear
Palestine
God,
immediately come out and ask for repatriation from the United Kingdom because of the time we ruled their land. And you're thinking, have they thought about how much this could potentially cost this nation? When
they haven't got a clue. They haven't got a clue. We've got Rachel from accounts who's looking for a new way to tax people breathing, and this other weirdo who I better be careful because otherwise I'll do the next show live from fucking Strange World. Yeah, from the Ville, from the Pent. No, I mean these people are absolute lunatics. So no matter what anybody comes up with, they'll come up with something that's even dafter and even more offensive.
Did you ever foresee a life in which the local MP for Tottenham, David Lammy, was now the Deputy Prime Minister?
Yeah, I did, and it was the same dream I had that McDonald's were using 100% Irish and English beef.
I urge you to, if you haven't already, is to listen to Dead Ringers, which is one of these impersonation sketch shows on Radio 4.
I'm still waiting for the call. Thank you.
They do David Lammy just absolutely brilliantly. They literally lammy him, and they say David, because basically he has his own inner monologue talking to him, and his inner monologue is saying, David, don't be a lammy, don't lammy it up. Just it is absolutely brilliant, and I would really recommend listening because they take they're merciless with the likes of Keir Starmer and with everybody. To be fair, they don't have any particular side. They're brilliant.
I actually like David Lammy. He's well known for his dress sense, his personality, his intelligence, and his punctuality.
Extremely complimentary to Donald Trump in the past.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so he can't be all bad if he's completely bad. Oh, sorry, I just lapsed into a bit of Diane Abbott there for you. But
so what do you think? What do you think Danny Ball's doing now? He's got all this time on his hands. Do you think he secretly comes online and watches the Three Amigos?
I would imagine he's coping with Three Amigo addiction, which is now classified as a thing with the benefits office. So if you want to top up your credits, just wander in there and mention our name.
Do you have a message for our dear ex-leader that you would just like to give him some words of wisdom, perhaps?
Well, it's very kind, but I don't think it'll fit up there.
Oh, brilliant. Love it.
And on that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, we have been the Three Amigos. You have not been charged for this broadcast. But if you have got any spare coins, do send them across accordingly. That's it for now. Good luck from myself, from Chris B, and from Tony V. And may your God go with you. That's it for now. Good luck. Keep it on them.